Ever since Michael Crichton first penned Jurassic Park in 1990, the world has been captivated by the idea of Isla Nublar, a remote island jam-packed with a genetic re-origination of the most ferocious creatures that evolution has ever pumped out. The land of the dinosaurs. Yet this idea is one that has long before been germinated in modern culture. The idea of a remote, secret paradise where the Reptilian Lizard Kings manage to survive the cosmic chaos of time, and not only survive, but thrive. Well, as chance should have it, that mysterious place known only as the SCP Foundation has got this one covered to boot, so let me introduce you to SCP-1265, and in this metaphysical proposal, things are a little bit different, to say the least. Hello Internet, and welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch, as today we curiously ask the question, what if SCP-1265 was real? Roll the clip. Oh man, that clip gets me every time. Life well and truly does find a way. But as I touched on previously, the author of Jurassic Park, Michael Crichton, wasn't exactly the OG of mysterious prehistoric Pacific islands, yet instead built on the works of three of his legendary predecessors. In 1964, Jules Verne penned his speculative science fiction novel A Journey to the Center of the Earth, where Professor Otto Lindenbrock, his nephew Axel, and their pal Hans descended an Icelandic volcano to find a terrifying subterranean world of prehistoric creatures and other big bad scaly scaries. This later inspired Edgar Rice Burroughs' Casbah trilogy, beginning with The Land That Time Forgot, as well as his Pellucidar series, and similarly a few years before, Arthur Conan Doyle penned The Lost World and his wholly not dissimilar discovery of a terrifying prehistoric land. But, and this is a very big but, all of these fictional worlds seem to have gotten one thing glaringly wrong. None of their fictional dinosaurs had feathers. And so thankfully for us, the SCP Foundation is here to rectify that catastrophic misinterpretation. As the record states, SCP-1265 is an irregularly shaped area of land measuring 50 kilometers squared within the Congo Basin of Africa. It is mostly contained within the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the majority of the anomalous area is uninhabited save for several tribal villages. So you may ask, what's the big deal? Well, SCP-1265 is inhabited by several species otherwise known to be extinct, the majority of which are part of the clade Dinosaura, and are in fact made up of species from no particular period of the Mesozoic, including the Cretaceous, Jurassic, and some sparse populations of Triassic period dinosaurs. These animals, which are collectively designated SCP-1265-A, appear in the area spontaneously in groups of 5 approximately once every 30 days, and as far as evidence has shown, are incapable of leaving the SCP-1265 area, as they appear to dematerialize upon crossing the border of the anomalous area. So essentially what we've ended up with is an X marks the spot, here there be dinosaurs, but don't worry because they can't leave. Hey, so it pretty much is Jurassic Park, just with less panoramic helicopter vista rides and no amber cane clutching Richard Attenborough making us all fall in love with well-meaning yet tragically flawed eccentric billionaires. And oh wait, the dinosaurs did leave the island, didn't they? Sequels. But fear not, because this is a hypothetical SCP scenario for a reason, and yet if SCP-1265 was real, it just might be the most valuable research laboratory that the world has ever known, and an idealistic pariah of paleontology that the likes of Isla Nublar pales in comparison to. Essentially, if SCP-1265 was real, it would be a looking glass into a time untold, an impossibly ancient relic of scientific discovery, and for one reason and one reason alone: preservation. As SCP-1265 explains, the site itself is publicly maintained as a wildlife preserve under the guise of the Safe and Clean Planet Initiative, a company acting as a front for the Foundation, acting independently to conceal the true intention of the anomalous area. Check. Tick that box. Corporate concealment. We're good to go. Not only this though, but as SCP-1265 has demonstrated, these anomalous creatures cannot be removed from the site, period, and site security would be a self-contained solution, as in not even their meat can be taken from the area before dematerializing, so forget about solving world hunger with an infinitely replicating dinosaur farm, because hey, the Foundation have already covered that with SCP-563, and also everyone knows that dinosaur meat tastes like out-of-date baloney, right? No, SCP-1265 is exclusively preserved for research purposes, and the world would be all the better because of it. Why? Because, well, we've got a lot to learn from our reptilian ancestors, and deep within their genetic makeup, humanity could find the answer to an infinite amount of questions about evolution, biomechanics, and even extraterrestrial life. Now, we know a smidgen of a tidbit about our giant scaly friends, and even with the greatest of scientific processes, trying to look back at the Mesozoic area with certainty is like trying to watch a VHS tape of the 1966 World Cup final on a phonograph built in 1877. It's incredibly difficult and highly unlikely. But with SCP-1265, we'd have a real-time living simulation to expand our scientific understanding and apply it to our own complicated modern problems. The creatures of the Mesozoic period lived through several millennia of climate change, and by studying the impact that this had on their physiology, we could apply it to our own environmental battles. Perhaps if SCP-1265 was real, world leaders and nations across the planet would put aside their differences for a moment and collectively send their best and brightest minds to a small 50-kilometer-squared area in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Much like how we send our best and brightest to the International Space Station to further progress the scientific machine. Hey, maybe it's an idealism, but it's an idealism that we collectively honor, and we would perhaps do the same to a perfectly preserved prehistoric paradise. It's a nice thought, isn't it? Well, unfortunately folks, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Cheers for sticking around all the way until the end. Before we depart though, let's read out some of your more creative comments from over the past few days. First up, Toxic Pineapple 7 says, he's secure, he protect, but most importantly, he contain. And that is one certified specifically fresh meme, my good friend. One hell of a good job. Round of applause for you. Next up, Godzilla Boy says, what if SCP-1265 was real? Not giving up. Well, Godzilla Boy, hard work pays off in the end. I hope you enjoyed it, buddy. On that pleasant note, cheers for sticking around all the way until the end. If you're a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe bell so you can stay up to date with our latest and greatest uploads. As per usual, I've been your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.